Hello friends, it's Alina, and in this video we'll be talking about the 5 things you need to know, all about this June 2021 full moon and strawberry moon in the sign of Capricorn. So if that's something that interests you, then let's get started. What is up, y'all? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to be diving into all things this June full moon in Capricorn, this first full moon of the summer, how we're actually going into the summer season, the summer solstice happening on June 20th, why this full moon is so impactful as it opposes the sun in Cancer, how that dichotomy will impact us, and the transits surrounding it. As well, at the end of this video, I will be offering some customized full moon writing prompts to help us align more with this energy. I also want to thank y'all for your love and patience and support as I took a little bit of a break from YouTube. I didn't do a meditation for this previous new moon because I was really putting myself first, prioritizing pouring into my cup. That way it can overflow and fill others. You got to put, the face mask on yourself first when you're on the airplane before you give it to everyone else, if you know what I mean. But with all of that said, let's get started. As many of you already know, the full moon is seen as a culmination point. Just as we see the light building from the new moon all the way up to this full moon peak in brightness, so too can the energy and momentum build leading up to this full moon. As well, full moons are seen as a time of illumination, halfway through the lunar cycle, allowing us to clearly see what has and hasn't been working for us in our lives. During all full moons, there is an opposition between the full moon and the sun. In this opposition and tension that is brought up every month can also play into the themes that we see during full moons. For this specific moon, its strawberry moon label was originated by the Algonquin Native American communities. And it's usually a name given to the last full moon of spring, but we're seeing this one occur at the beginning of summer. And with this full moon being in the sign of Capricorn, this sign that really impacts the areas of our lives involving career, reputation, and accountability, this full moon will really be a time that will offer clarity in those arenas. Next, what transits will be impacting this full moon? First, like mentioned before, this full moon will occur when the sun in the sign of Cancer forms in opposition to the moon that's in the sign of Capricorn. Now, this will be bringing in themes of striking a balance between the energies of Cancer and of Capricorn. That being the Capricorn-focused aspects of career, reputation, accountability, productivity, and public life, and the Cancer energy of seeking nurturance, being rooted, being more in our home life, and making sure that we're grounded. I think I've mentioned it before, but these themes of tension and opposition that always happen with any full moon, and it just has different signs involved depending on the full moon, along with the heightened energy that we have, the full moon raising the tides as well as raising our, vibrations. We are considered, I think, between 70 and 80% water. It's very fascinating to see these themes and how they can impact the tension that we see, the energy that we see, the call that we get to be out and more productive during full moons, and how that manifests in our lives. Next, June 20th, the summer solstice marks the first day of Cancer season and the first day of summer. Now, this major shift into the water sign of Cancer will definitely be impacting our emotions, can increase our general sensitivity to one another, and will be a perfect time for reconnecting with family members and friends. The summer solstice is seen as a time of celebrating the sun, celebrating the longest day of the year, and connecting with one another socially. Whether you are introverted or extroverted, we as human organisms are community-based organisms. Either way, this is an excellent time for seeking connection and support from one another. Next, we have Jupiter, the planet of optimism, opportunity, expansion, and philosophy, going retrograde on June 20th. For many of us, this retrograde will be helpful for allowing inner paradigm shifts and opening our minds to new ideas, philosophies, and outlooks on life. I truly believe that this, in conjunction with us entering Cancer season, being more in touch with our senses, that including our emotions, clairvoyance, intuition, along with this retrograde will be an excellent time for exploring that more spiritual, intuitive side within. On the flip side of that, for many of us, this can be an uncomfortable time of learning new things outside of our normal day-to-day that is uncomfortable to know. Sometimes when you learn things about your life, about your world, about your family that you didn't know before, while it is great to know that and have that knowledge, it's kind of earth-shattering and path-shifting potentially. So it will be very important to find grounding during this new summer season, this new Cancer season, as we explore the world around us, whether it's spiritual or on a global scale. It's also important to mention that during this retrograde, Jupiter will be traveling through Pisces to begin with and will be ending out in the sign of Aquarius. And for this first part of the retrograde, with Jupiter being in Pisces, it will really stimulate our deeper rooted curiosity for deeper knowledge and philosophy. While retrogrades can tend to bring a little bit more chaos into the normal themes that these planets and signs can offer us, it will be very important to remember that our intuition, our clairvoyance, and our emotions are all very similar things. They are messages that we're getting from the stimuli around us, from our senses. And it's all about how we are taking it in, how we are interpreting it, and making sure to be grounded in the process. Next, we're having another retrograde on June 25th for Neptune, which is the planet of our ideals surrounding righteousness, spirituality, what our ideals are in life. With Neptune going into retrograde, this will really bring in themes of detaching our egocentric perspective of the world and allowing almost like a veil to be lifted for us to see what is really going on outside of our own sort of main character energy point of view of life. This will be an ideal time to explore how you can serve others, whether it's through what you do for work, in your free time, collaboratively for family members, or even just neighbors. I think it's really interesting also that both of these retrogrades have these themes of kind of looking behind the curtain at the Wizard of Oz. What are your perspectives outside of what has been constantly told to you through society, through your parents, through even social media? And what feels truly aligned to you? Next, what should we expect to feel? So with the info I've already offered about how you should expect to feel with the Neptune and Jupiter retrograde, the full moon in Cancer with those themes, I really want to mention that if y'all have been feeling like me, feeling exhausted from these from this Mercury retrograde, from these last supermoons that happened, from the eclipse season that we just went through. Oh, thankfully, this Capricorn full moon should definitely be more energizing for you. I know personally, I usually feel the energies of the full moon around a week to 2 weeks before, and I already have been feeling like I've been kind of coming out of that fog a bit. Everyone's different though, depends on what sign you're in, what element there is within your natal charts as well. So all that to say, with Mercury going direct on June 22nd, along with this full moon in Capricorn, offering us more clarity surrounding what direction we're going in and feeling a little bit more energized when it comes to getting work done and getting back into the rhythm of things, you should definitely be expecting to feel a little of that fog coming away. Next, how should we harness this energy? My top recommendation is kind of two dualities of things, two opposite things. But the first one is get out and get social. It's very easy for us to stay in a loop of our own perspective of things and forget how insightful it can be to hear new and different perspectives of things when we step outside of our comfort zone and just connect with other people, especially if you're in a place where it's safe to get out and start connecting in the real world. Sharing collective energy as community-based organisms can be truly life-shifting, and I think that if it's possible, definitely do it. The summer solstice is all about abundance, socializing, and connecting with one another. It's a time of really honing in on the fruits of our labor. And finally, reflect and celebrate your wins and your growth. The summer solstice is a time of celebrating growth, celebrating the development that has stemmed from, the little budding flowers that started at the beginning of spring and have grown into these beautiful bushes and plants of bloomed, fully mature fruits and vegetables that we get to enjoy during the summertime. Just like we see that development in nature, so too can our inner development be seen. And so now is a great time to sit and ask yourself, wow, we're halfway through the year. What has happened in the last 6 months? Have I stayed aligned with my goals for this year? What intentions did I set and where am I with that? Oftentimes with full moons, it definitely does have the theme surrounding it of letting go of what no longer serves us. And that can sometimes make us focus more on how we need to change and constantly improve, which can still be very important. But the clarity that comes from the full moon doesn't just shine light on all the negative. It also shines light on the positive. So taking time to celebrate your wins, big or small or medium sized, is very important. And finally, let's dive into these journal writing prompts. What we'll do is I will have the writing prompts pop up on the screen. When you see them, I invite you to pause the video. When you're done, unpause, and at the end, we'll come back. How would you describe your growth or the lessons you've learned since the new year or winter solstice? What aspects of your home life feel nourishing to you? Is there anything you're ready to release for this full moon? This can be limiting beliefs, people, environments, or habits. All right, y'all, those are the questions. I kind of want to answer one or two of them because I feel called to share a little bit, I don't know, of my journey. For me, something that I feel like I've grown from or developed over the last 6 months is a deeper understanding of my own power. In the beginning of this year, I kind of mentioned on here, but my dad got COVID and I had to go, and I didn't have to, but I actually, I really just decided to go and help him recover, despite my mom being like, no, don't come and all this stuff. Through that experience, through utilizing my knowledge in nutrition and the human body, as you may or may not know, I'm a holistic nutritionist and I have been for quite some years, and I went to school for it and certified. It made me have this deeper confidence and understanding of my power in not only helping somebody recover, but helping them nourish themselves and helping them understand, you know, the power that they have inside of themselves to keep themselves healthy. So things like that, I feel like that's been a lot of the themes. I also, you know, this Capricorn side of me of, you know, having goals and markers that I want to complete. One of them was to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And that happened, I think, 2 months ago now. And my mind is blown from that, but I'm also very proud of myself for the work that I've done, because there's a lot of work and research that goes into each of these videos. And yeah, I don't know. And since then, I just feel like this season for me has felt like a lot of growth. I've gone through major depression. In fact, one of the reasons why I didn't do the meditation video for the new moon was partially because I was experiencing depression. I was experiencing a lot of just lack of focus, and I had fallen off on taking care of myself. And through taking time and taking that little bit of a break, and also y'all's support, you know, when I brought it up in my community tab on YouTube and stuff like that, it was also a reminder of when you understand that you yourself, all of us, like when you personally understand this, like I can tell you this, but you know, when you understand it for yourself, the power that you hold, and you understand the value that you have just by existing, by inherently being yourself, you also understand that the importance of protecting that through rest and through taking a break when it's necessary and if it's possible for you. And I'm very grateful to be able to do that with YouTube and to be able to have my own schedule. But yeah, I will say though that I wasn't like doing nothing during my break. I've actually been working on the Auralign planner for 2022. And so anyway, I'm talking a lot, but I just kind of wanted to give y'all a life update and just share my perspective of that journaling prompt of like, how have I grown over the last 6 months? All right, y'all, with all of that said, I will leave you with my favorite quote. But before that, of course, if you made it to the end of this video, please comment if you've already been feeling any of this full moon energy, if you've already been feeling the relief of Mercury going direct coming up on June 22nd, if anything came up for you for these journaling prompts like it came up for me, or if none of that, at the very least, please comment 3 sun emojis, because thank God for the sun. The summer solstice is really all about celebrating the life-giving energy of the sun. Just comment that, and that'll let me know you made it to the end of this video. You also help small but growing creators like myself when you interact with my videos in that way. And so it's deeply appreciated. With all of that said, I will leave you with my favorite quote, and that is, be gentle with yourself. because life is about the journey and not the destination. All right, I'll see you on the next one.